Welcome to the Guys Review, where we review media, products, and experiences. My name is Steve, and I'm one of your four co-hosts. With me,
Thank
as always,
God I wasn't recording when he said that.
with me, as always, are Chris, Trey, and Tucker. Say hello.
Hey,
fellas.
what's up?
Hello.
How's it going?
So, what do y'all think of our new intro music? I feel like I need like a blazer, rolled up sleeves
Glow sticks.
for sure.
See, I don't know if I can masturbate to it, but I think I can like listen to it while I'm trying to get hard.
It's fair.
Yeah,
So
Oh, I didn't know there's talking in it.
This music would basically be your fluffer, is that what you're saying?
pretty much.
Okay.
While I'm dealing with a fluffer.
Well, today we're going to be reviewing the original Halloween with what's her face, Jamie Lee Curtis. Before
The original Scream Queen.
What's her face?
I saw her face.
I mean,
just
it's not like it's a classic,
Ironically,
hard-
Jamie Lee Curtis more attractive than Susan Sarandon.
in this movie. No,
Yeah,
I got to agree with Steven on this.
no, absolutely
Susan
not.
Sarandon was better looking in
I'd
Rocky
rather
Horror
suck her
Picture
baby
Show.
dick than Susan Sarandon's.
That doesn't say much about you, Trey.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about our weeks, and then we'll kind of move into a little bit of fan mail and some housekeeping stuff, and then we'll get into the movie.
Housekeeping.
So, anyone want to go first? Who wants to go first?
You want your pillow fluff?
I'll
I'll
go
go first.
You want to go first?
Sure, why not?
All right, you, me, Trey, Tucker.
All right. So my week started off as any other week would start off on a Monday, and then it
Mine
finished
starts
off
on
on a
Sunday,
Sunday. Mine doesn't.
And you didn't die this week, so
I'm not
there's an
by that
accomplishment.
calendar.
Don't
all
go
right?
dying on us now.
I'm by the old calendar. Oh yeah. So, anyways, what now?
Well, I don't know. You
Oh yeah, it was a good week and all. We went to my daughter cheerleaded at the football game
Friday night.
Friday night. Yep.
Yeah, Friday
She
Night
cheerleaded.
Lights, baby.
Does Taylor like your new little Inspire device?
Oh, we haven't. You know, it's working really good. It's working really, really.
Does
I bumped it
Taylor,
up.
does Taylor like it?
No, it's
He's trying to make a sex joke.
I know he's trying to make a sex joke and all, but it's not at that level yet.
Did you say you bumped it up though? Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
turned
So
it up?
yeah. So you've got like a 20-week span to get it into that you're supposed to get up to the level that's supposed to be at. So I started off with, and I know y'all won't know what this means and all, but the shock level was like at 1.3, right? And it's supposed to be up to 3. So after 20 weeks, I'm supposed to be up to a 3.
Wow.
Which is like where it's supposed to be at to make it, But
so
it's still, it
do
works.
you set this, or does the
I do.
doctor set it? Oh,
do.
wow. Okay.
So after the first 2 weeks, I bumped it up, and then after this Monday, I'll bump it up again.
Why don't you just put it straight on 3?
It would probably wake you up, I would imagine.
She showed me what it was like to put it on 3. Like she was like, "This is what the end result will be," and then she put it on there, and it was like, just,
Like to you, like live, she did while you were
she
awake.
did while I was
and
like,
you were
right
like,
there. I was
"Ugh."
it was like my right hand, like my right side of my tongue, just like had a stroke or something, Like it just went, just down, and that was it.
Was that a stroke joke?
No, it wasn't
Was
meant
that a
that way.
stroke joke?
No, I don't think it
wasn't
was.
meant that way
I
at
know,
all.
it's okay.
But so it's kind of like if you run a marathon, right? You're not just going to get up tomorrow and run a marathon, right?
I could.
Do you see him
You
ever
could.
running a marathon?
He may. You don't ever know.
I mean, if something really slows,
I don't see
chasing
him.
me-
I maybe see him running to the grocery store.
But what you would normally do is like you would to get ready, you may run down to the stop
To the
sign
freezer to
today.
get more ice cream?
there you go. Get another pint.
You may run down the street to the stop sign today, then the next day take 2 streets, and then the next day 3. It's kind of like that. You
Yeah.
gotta
You're giving
build
Trey a
yourself
lot
up.
of credit here.
This from the person who lost to me in a race.
I mean, he did race you all the way.
Trey didn't even write his own notes last week. How does your secretary like being called a secretary?
I think she loves it.
But it was.
I can't say much. I didn't write my notes either.
But I will say this: the opposing team that my daughter cheered against, man, they had it on point with their cheer.
Yeah, their band section and like their dance team and everything. They did this one thing for Jaws, for the
yeah.
Jaws theme.
Oh,
It was actually really cool.
I thought you were going to say it was sort of like back when we always enjoyed playing like Tuskegee, like Booker T. Washington.
Yeah.
Because
No.
like they brought in like
Yeah.
all the little dancing people and
Yeah.
stuff, and they had fun.
They were all one unit, but it kind of takes away because it's not like they don't actually like cheer. They're
Yeah, the
just
cheerleaders don't do any cheers. They
Right.
they do
They're an
everything with
extension.
the band.
Yeah, they're extension of the band is what they are.
Okay, so sort of like Texas A&M.
I guess so. Yeah,
Got
Yeah.
a yo leader.
I guess so. I don't know
Yeah,
that much
so
about it.
they don't just get on and be like, oh, whatever it is, Wildcats, is it? Something like that.
I don't remember what they were. Yeah, I think they were the Bobcats.
What team was it?
Enterprise.
I think they are the Bobcats.
Yeah.
It's something
I
Cats.
think it's Wildcats. Actually.
Wildcats.
Wildcats.
maybe it's
Maybe it's
Wildcats.
Wildcats.
But anyways, they were they don't do all that, but it's just right with me. And it's I mean, they do a damn good job of it. To give them the credit.
Yeah,
They're really good.
The band was better than the football team. I think
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
so.
It's like watching Army's football team out there.
Yeah.
It was just totally 4 people in the backfield running the ball the whole time.
Well, this was for the JV, right? Or was it for
High school.
No, it was high school.
Okay, so
And then they got this coming up week IMG, which is they're about to get just blown out the water.
yeah, I was just trying to think.
If you don't know IMG, that's the number 1 team in the country,
High school.
high school team in the country,
mean, it's like
and
a
they
junior
probably would
college.
beat.
Yeah.
They probably beat Vanderbilt. I'd take them over Vanderbilt.
Trey could beat Vanderbilt.
That's true.
Trey thinks he could beat Paige Van Zandt.
I know I could beat her.
Anything else to add to your week?
No, I'll let that go with that.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. My week was pretty interesting, pretty boring. I mean, I say pretty interesting. No, it was not interesting at all. There's really nothing to happen. I did get a new listing, so that's fun. I got a house for sale out there
yeah.
for a
went
client. So that's
You went out to the syrup shopping.
we went. So yeah, it was a good man. It was such a busy weekend though. We did Friday night, did the football game. Saturday we did syrup shopping, which is this
shopping.
little syrup shopping.
Syrup shopping.
I didn't see no Sasquatch.
You see
out there.
Sasquatch out there?
Yeah, I know
Syrup shopping.
Sasquatch.
Why do we hang out with him?
So, but that's just a little local
I'm not
festival
sure.
in this like little town near us. Technically, it's called
Sad when we're the normal ones.
Pioneer Days now, but it's always
is
going to be
still
known.
syrup
It's
shopping.
still syrup shopping. So, and then let's see. Saturday
Those that
night,
don't want to call it syrup shopping, they're just slow as molasses.
Saturday night we had pizza, and then today. Oh, here's the best part about this. You okay?
It's just those two.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this just sucks.
Today, here's the funny. So I picked up Chris today. I took my daughter over to his house to play with his daughter, and he was like, "Oh, we got to stop by Publix to pick up prescriptions for his daughter." And so we go in there, and the guy's like, "What do you need help with?" He's like, "Oh, pick up prescription for my daughter. Her birthday is 11/8/12."
Mhm.
Hey, I remembered.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm glad you put it out there.
Whatever. Anyways, don't know
It's
the
not a
name.
social security number, so anyway.
Yeah, that's 4. No, I'm just joking. But anyways, the guy comes back and is like, "Oh, we had it in our system that that she was born in 1912, not 2012." And then he was like, "Oh, I'm not that old." And I just kind of looked at Chris. I was like, "Aren't you though?" Like, I didn't realize they put your birth date in there. He was like, "I knew you're gonna. I could already hear you're gonna say something on the podcast about." It. I was like, "Yeah, pretty much. That's how it's gonna be." So. It's stupid, I know. Anyways, beyond that, no, it's pretty decent week. Nothing crazy, just busy work, the usual stuff. Yeah, that's all I got. Trey, how about you, bud?
It was okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, like my delivery drivers keep fucking shit up.
it's fun.
Yeah, flooded somebody else's house.
Wait, what?
Flooded somebody's house. Like,
How?
the washing machine, I don't know what they're doing.
Obviously, they don't either.
So,
Fair.
so is Aaron's gonna have to pay for that?
So wait, they hooked it
My
up.
owner is, yeah.
So
oh shit!
So I'm guessing they must have hooked it up and didn't hook it up right.
That's the only thing I can think, or maybe like the person got like a malfunctioning something, but I'm not there to see it, so.
Got to send you send out like Peaches and Clean to do water extraction and all that.
I don't know what the hell we're going to do. I got to go look at it on Monday.
Wow.
Does Dothan have a Serve Pro?
I'm sure, but I mean, I don't want to pay for a Serve Pro.
Well, they'll do a good job,
Wow.
Super expensive.
but they'll do it right.
But that's the thing. It's super expensive.
I got a shop vac. You can just take that.
Yeah. I mean, like, because basically, like, I get a big bonus on being profitable. So if I have to keep paying for this stuff, I won't get my bonus.
That sucks.
Yep. Well,
yeah.
But the thing is, I mean, you got to do it now so that it doesn't happen again in the future. And get the right people doing the right thing.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I got to figure out, like, what they're doing wrong.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if, it's on their stuff that's malfunctioning, it's like, y'all actually did it right.
Yeah, it's fair. Okay. What else?
That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Tucker.
Man, my week was pretty good. It was exciting on Wednesday. Y'all know what happened. I'm not going to go into that on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Wait, your sister came to town?
Well, yes, she did. That's not what I'm talking about.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
But yeah, my sister came
Talking
into
about
town.
them titties.
We surprised we surprised my mom with a late birthday present by bringing getting all the kids together and taking her out to eat and hanging out with her. So it was fun. They went back to Texas today, so
Nice. Yeah, it was good seeing her.
Yeah, it was a good weekend.
Yeah. Got to meet. I got to meet the husband finally.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He's pretty nice. He's a cool guy. I liked him. All right. Anybody got anything else to add?
I think him and our buddy Mitchell would have a lot in common.
Oh God, we'd never get a word in edgewise between all the plane talk.
Was it weird, like seeing your old high school sex doll?
I hate you so much.
That's
fair.
Are you ready for
Fan mail. So we do actually have some fan mail, and this is, let's see, I'm just gonna get to it real fast if I can. Oh, we actually got a comment too. Look at that.
Comment.
So Nathan, that I guess the guy who took my spot, who just got married.
What?
Jesus,
Was that mine?
It wasn't mine.
pretty sure it was yours.
It wasn't mine.
That's me.
Mine's on silent.
Yeah, mine is
Mine
too.
is too.
I don't know. Who knows? Whatever.
That's fucking weird.
All right, so Nathan wrote us an email. This is what he said. I have not read this yet, so we'll see how this goes. Nathan wrote, "Sup, bitches? What's up, guys? I'm on my honeymoon already, a couple of marks deep, and this seems like the perfect time for some fan mail. You may remember me as the guy who filled in while Steven was urinating via his rectum. Probably y'all's best show ever. Glad you're okay, buddy. I bet you're still wiping."
Wow, he's 3 sentences in and he writes better than Eric.
First and foremost, Trey, who I've always known as Hendrix, absolutely sucks in every way, shape, and form. He is a shithead. He says my thing is way too much and generally has horrible takes and opinions on literally everything from Little Debbie's to Star Wars.
God, I'm liking him more and more.
If you were to kick him off the podcast, your ratings would skyrocket. However, you would probably lose the loyal following of the sick, demented people like myself who torture themselves by listening to this podcast. Trey sucks. Oh, God.
Here, here.
Steven, we don't know each other very well, but you ripped my heart out of my chest and jumped up and down on it like a college kid in the boom boom room of Sky Bar. You bought a truck all the way in Michigan or some shit, as if me replacing you on the pod meant nothing. Thanks for shopping local. Also, Trey sucks.
I'm seeing a theme here.
Spoken like a true car salesman.
Sorry about that.
Damn.
Didn't have what I was looking for. Fuck this.
No.
Tucker, goddamn. Tucker, you redeemed this show. You aren't a shithead like Trey, and you don't rip people's hearts out like Steven. Yeah. Obviously, you can't be trusted because you're 5'0", but nobody's perfect.
I'll accept that. Thanks, Nate.
It must be hard to sleep at night with the entire podcast success sitting directly on your shoulders.
Golly.
Damn.
Does he listen to this show?
No.
Apparently.
No, I clearly
I don't
doesn't.
think so.
Chris, the best part of this pod belongs to you. Whenever you say, what does he do?
Jiu-jitsu.
Like those guys in training day talking about getting their shit pushed in. It makes me laugh super hard for a second. I actually enjoyed the podcast. Then Trey speaks and the moment is over. I think that's enough for now. You guys keep up the good work. As sick, disgusting, vile as it is, kind regards, Nate. Thank you, Nate. I really appreciate that.
You see,
Thanks, Nate.
back when he was in college and I was wrapping up, one of my years, he came and lived with me for a week during move out.
Mm-hmm.
And we would sit there in our boxers and we'd watch Entourage or The Wire. And he's just throwing all that away. It's hurt my feelings. Fuck you, Nate.
So,
Wait, so who do you hate worse, him or Al?
Oh, 1,000% Al.
the next email I was going to read you guys. So, y'all remember me reading you those emails from Shirley? The Chinese...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you write back?
She keeps writing back to me. I don't know. I was kind of tired. This one isn't as funny, but so the last email I wrote her, by the way. This is the one that I said. If I'm eating at the Y, I got to drive. It's a guy thing. Trey's already driving a ton, so I don't know how much more travel he could take. Chris and Tucker are in the same boat. They get lost and don't know where they are. I just want to make sure we can continue to make a wonderful podcast while pleasing as many people as possible at the same time. So she wrote back, "Dear sir, thanks for your kind email. So you are a tourism company, right? Please confirm."
Nailed it.
So this is what I wrote. Shirley, my love. We do tour sometimes. We'll pretty much go anywhere you want us to. We can go down, up, left, or right. We're a reviewing company. We'll tell you if something is too hot, too cold, too tight or too loose, too wet or too dry, even if it smells like it's been washed up on a beach for a week. We can even tell you how much we enjoyed your quote unquote company product. You can usually tell how well we enjoyed it by how quickly we fall asleep afterwards, sometimes during the review. Let me know if you'd like more information about our commercial deals or any other actions you're looking to sign up for, or how you'd like to proceed. She wrote me back again. Thanks for your kind email. We still don't understand what your main products. We still don't understand what is your main products. Could you please be more specific?
Now she's getting it.
Okay. So this is what I wrote her. This is the last one I wrote today. My dearest Shirley, and I spelled dearest, DEER, dearest. I keep putting all these terrible, I mean to spell it incorrectly to see if they'll pick up on anything, and I'm not. I wrote, we are podcasters and philanthropists. We review media products and experiences. We really love experiences. Some of us are way more experienced than others. Some are, yeah. But one of our hosts has led a very sheltered life and was homeschooled. He's never even known the touch of a woman. Very sad. I would like to finalize our arrangement very quickly. I am really betting on our agreement, so much so I've decided to quit my regular job solely on our positive conversations, and I look forward to building a new life and career with you and your company. All my love, the guys.
Oh, jeez. Are you going to go dark on her?
I'm thinking about it.
I would.
Because if she doesn't... what is that? Okay. Yeah, I, depending on what she says back, I might fall in love with her.
For a long time?
I'll love her a long time.
For $5.
Well, yeah, whatever works. So there's that. The next little thing I want to talk about real fast, and I didn't mention this last week, and I meant to. So I've also done. We had 2 Twitter polls that we ran for Trick or Treat and for Rocky Horror. So now,
What were they about?
how many beers you would give the movie?
Oh, okay.
So here's the funny thing. I want to say this also about the Trick or Treat one specifically, and I didn't say this last week, and I should have. So I made the poll. And in the poll, I explained it's reverse beer scale, choose how many, blah, blah, blah. And I tagged the director, Mike Daugherty, Anna Paquin, Connor Levins, who is the little kid, the principal's son.
Yeah.
Tagged him. And I also tagged, I think, Dylan Baker, who's the principal. I did not tag the kid who played Sam, right, in the suit. His name is Quinn Lord, right? So anyway, I put the post out there, and a couple of days later, it's got a couple of votes, whatever. And I see it got a like, and I looked up, and it was Quinn Lord, the guy who played Sam, liked our Twitter poll and voted.
Interesting.
Right?
How many beers did he
I
get?
assume, I don't know. I can't see who did what. So anyways, this is the results of that poll. I've got 50% said they would give it 0 to 1 beers, 33% said 2 to 3 beers, and 17% said 4 to 5 beers. So I'm going to assume he was on the 0 to 1 beer scale is what I'm thinking about. He does, and if you go and look at his likes and stuff like that, he likes a lot of stuff related to that. And I actually read a story about him this past week that he would still love to be in a sequel, even though he's an adult now.
Well, he could do that.
He's 22 years old, so barely an adult.
Yeah. Okay, so last one, Rocky Horror. The result for that poll, it's 0% gave it 0 to 1 beers. 67% gave it 2 to 3 beers, and 33% gave it 4 to 5 beers.
Hey, so in the future, if we do this, can we do something like, say, like Quinn Lord or like any other famous person who responds to us? Can we get them on for like a phone call and then like hang up on them in the middle of like the phone call like the next week?
Sounds like a great way to get exposure.
Yeah, I don't see how that could go wrong.
Just like right in the middle while they're talking, just hang up and be like, nobody gives a shit.
Okay, USA.
Just be like, so tell us about your new movie. Just kidding.
Are you ready for the
Fan mail. Tucker, you know what that's like, do you? So anyways, all right. So, that's all that stuff. We're going to move into the movie now. 2 other things I want to
Did you
address.
say you got the comment done? Somebody commented on this?
Oh, I looked at it. It looks like it's just a spam comment. I think it's just like so.
Fuck it.
One thing that we are doing different. So we did record last week. This is gonna end up on YouTube, but we're not gonna do the video recording because just for the time that it takes to do that, as well as editing this and editing that, it's still gonna be on YouTube. It's just not gonna be as video. But if we do something that's more visual, like another food review, or we talked about this past weekend. I think we need to do another beer review here pretty soon because, I mean, we got all these Oktoberfest beers that are out, and they are fucking delicious.
I like it.
Right there.
Right
And what we'll
there.
do is we'll record that with the video camera, so that because that is more visual.
I think we still should do the Thanksgiving
Hey, Chris,
dinner candy corn.
Can you drink beer like you eat soup? How do you?
Through
How
his
do you do it?
butthole.
Just take it on out.
So, anyways, just want to cover that. That's why that was. And then the second thing I want to say is, so this week's movie was chosen by Tucker. So I'm going to do the little intro part, but once we get to the actual thing, we'll do like we did with Trey and not Chris. We'll let Tucker do his synopsis of the movie and move forward to it.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
Yeah, of course, y'all lazy. All right, so Halloween is directed by John Carpenter. It stars Donald Pleasance, Jamie Lee Curtis, PJ Souls, Nancy Loomis. It was released on October 25th, 1978, on a budget of. It gave me a range. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did, and when I sent you the figures, I think I did. I maxed out the ranges. Is what I
Yeah.
screenshot and sent you.
So $325,000 when it was shot in '78, which is $1.4 million today. Box office haul was $70 million, which is $295 million today. So I'd
Still
say,
not fair
So
though.
that movie
Because it
was
still comes out in
Yeah.
slave movie theaters.
yeah,
that movie was very
super
successful.
successful. Ratings: IMDb gives it a 7.7 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes has it at 96%. Metacritic at 87%. Google users. Trey, you want to go first?
Google users 74.
Tucker?
88.
92.
90%.
Damn.
Tucker won
I
that.
knew I should win with prices right.
$1.
You always go one over.
Yep. I knew it. I knew I should win with 89. I was like, damn.
So, and in 2006, this film was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. First time you saw the movie?
God.
Today.
Really?
Are you serious?
Swear to God.
Wow.
I mean, I know I saw it as a kid. I remembered it, but like, I watched it again Wednesday night, and like some of my comments that I wrote, just whatever, are more like, not remembering how these things happen and all this stuff. So I mean, but I mean, I have not watched it in probably 30 years. So
Naturally, my dad had a video rental store. So I remember the kid behind me, that lived behind us and all, he used to hang out with him, and he would rent horror movies all the time. And I remember being at his house watching like 1, 2, and 3, I think.
yeah,
And then watching like I think Howling 1, 2, and 3 or something like that. Just each night I stayed with him, he always picked a horror movie to watch. That was just his thing.
But The Howling was a good series.
So was Halloween.
Freaked me out,
It
man.
really wasn't.
I think I fell asleep during one
Based on
part.
the one
Woke
I've
up
seen.
like right whenever like one of the werewolves came out, and I was like, shoot.
Tucker.
I saw this as a kid. I was probably 9 or 10 years old on USA or TBS or something, and this movie and the movie Tremors is what started my love for horror movies.
All right, first of all, Tremors is a documentary.
Just like Harry Potter's real.
Goddamn right, you muggle.
So when's the last time you were at Platform 9 3/4?
I don't live in that town.
We're what do they call it? You're a nomad over here. Have you seen the new ones, the Fantastic Beasts movies?
No, because those are
Yeah,
awful.
at this point, I don't know what the fuck y'all are talking
Those are
about.
awful.
I literally have no clue.
I mean, I agree. Don't get me wrong; they're not Harry Potter, but it's still in the same universe.
Yeah, but I don't have to honor that.
But yeah, I remember this movie scaring the living shit out of me when I was, I don't know, 9 or 10 years old.
See, I was always, like I said, I was always more of a Jason and Freddy kind of kid.
I think my thing that got me mixed up with this movie is that, like, seeing so many of them, that the number of kills is what gets me on this one.
Not very many.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guess we're gonna go into the movie. So, Tucker, you are more than welcome.
Tucker!
Y'all ready? This is
Ready to go.
this is awesomeness provided by Wikipedia.
Jesus. I did this. That's what I did for Terminator 2, the first one, and it's usually not a good synopsis.
This is pretty good.
You
On
said so.
Halloween night, 1963, in the fictional town of Haddonfield, Illinois, 6-year-old Michael Myers inexplicably stabs his teenage sister Judith to death with a kitchen knife. For the next 15 years, he is incarcerated at Smith's Grove Sanitarium. On October 30th, 1978, Michael's psychiatrist, Dr. Samuel Loomis, and his colleague, Marion Chambers, arrive at the sanitarium to escort Michael to court for a hearing. Loomis hopes the outcome of the hearing is that Michael will never be released from Smith's Grove. However, Michael steals their car and escapes Smith Grove, killing the mechanic for his coveralls on the way back to Haddonfield. Upon returning home, Michael steals a white and expressionless mask from a hardware store. On Halloween, he sees high school student Laurie Strode drop off a key at the long-abandoned Myers house that her father is trying to sell. Laurie notices Michael stalking her throughout the day, but her friends Annie and Linda dismiss her concerns. Loomis arrives in Haddonfield in search of Michael and finds Judith's tombstone missing from the local cemetery. He meets with Annie's father, Sheriff Lee Brackett, and they investigate Michael's house, where Loomis tells Brackett that Michael is pure evil. Brackett is doubtful of the danger, but goes to patrol the streets while Loomis waits at the house, expecting Michael to return.
Okay.
Wow.
It's
like half the movie.
it's the first 30 minutes or so, 40 minutes.
So, anybody else, the cemetery keeper, right? What is it called?
The
groundskeeper?
Yeah,
The
the groundskeeper.
Yeah.
Was anybody hoping that he would tell the rest of that story?
I kind of was.
I mean, I was in there like, tell the rest of it. I want to know what happened in that other fictional town. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, what? Just leave us hanging there.
So, go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
No, go ahead.
So this whole thing starts because little Mikey Myers is upset that his sister's getting dicked down.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I mean, is that what it is? Because, I mean, like, there's no real
they were-
explanation for it.
they were getting real hot and heavy on the couch before he goes up there and goes stabby on
Yeah.
her. Which that was some of the most horrible stabbing.
Worst stabbing and worst
But it's,
acting.
but it's 1978. You got to realize for the time that's
Once upon a time in America.
It was a lady's hand.
Yeah.
It was
that's what I
ladies'
thought.
hand. Yeah.
You know, it was just weird watching it. Like, I'm not an expert on teenage girls due to the lawsuits and stuff. But,
But you were a teenage boy once, so you can speak from that experience.
yeah, I mean, like, do they really just sit there, like, in just, like, a pair of panties, like, brushing their fucking hair?
Yes.
I mean, like, because,
Yes, they do.
okay.
Serious?
You look scarred.
Yeah.
You've walked in on.
No, there's no walking in. They just all walk around like that. Like my
That's-
whole family.
Like, no bra, no shirt.
It's just my whole family.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
they'll be like, one of them will call out, will be like, I'm about to come through the living room. I'm like, shit.
All right, so I want to say this. First of all, I know you know this because I talked about it last night. Do y'all know the Michael Myers mask, which you really haven't seen close up yet? Who is that?
Well, yeah, it's William
Oh,
Shatner.
It's a person? William Shatner.
It's William Shatner.
They shaved off the sideburns, opened up
Yeah.
the holing
Yeah.
bigger on it, and
Painted-
I think they
painted it white.
painted
painted the
it.
hair,
Yeah, and they
restyled it.
All right, so here's one thing that I picked up on, having not seen this movie in
of
probably
course they almost went with Nixon.
3 or 4
They
years.
did.
Or a clown.
Yeah.
They did. John Carpenter is a master at building suspense. You watch some of his other movies, specifically The Thing. I love that. That's another movie that I love. But you never see Michael's face until getting close to the end. Any shot you see with Michael, it's always from a long way away with a wide lens, and he's very, very small in the frame. Or you see another wide shot, but all you see of Michael is his hip to like his
Yeah.
shoulder.
Yeah.
So you never really see him. And I think that really helps build suspense. And this movie was kind of the start of what we consider the modern slasher flicks, because you've got Michael Myers and you've got Jason and Freddy and all that stuff. But it doesn't start off like some of these later horror movies do. The body count stays really low, and there's not a lot of blood and gore. And I think that goes.
That's done on purpose, though.
It is, but I think that just goes to show what a master John Carpenter is at creating that suspense in this movie, because his use of the music and the lighting and the camera angles. I mean, Michael Myers is a creepy motherfucker in this movie.
I don't think the whole idea of it was all John Carpenter. I mean, I know pretty much it's not all John Carpenter's idea. It was the guy who was behind it, the not director, but the
Cinematographer.
yeah. It started off with him. He didn't want the movie. He wanted the movie to be more like a Psycho.
I can see. I mean, I
Very
can see
cerebral.
That.
Yeah.
I can see that.
No, he wanted to see no blood except for one scene where you see blood. He said he wanted to keep blood down to the bare minimum in this movie and all. He wanted it to be in the sense of like, he said when he grew up he was listening to radio broadcasts and all that and horror movies or horror whatever on there, horror stories on there and all. He said, and you had to visually picture all the stuff, and that's the way he wanted it to be. He wanted to be that visual in your head of it.
And I think they accomplished that with the way this movie is shot. I mean, it like I said, it does a very good job of building that suspense throughout the whole movie.
So, going back to the intro real fast, I just want to say this. Speaking of how they're shooting everything, I did really enjoy the intro because I liked it. It all read as one continuous shot from watching in front of the house, going around to the back, up the stairs and everything.
Well, and then it kind of switches to that first person's perspective.
Well,
too.
yeah. But the whole thing is first person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing is perspective
until he comes back out and the parents find him.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
But the other thing I want to point out is, did you notice? So the sister and the boyfriend, they go upstairs, and then when he's coming up the stairs, the boyfriend's coming down, putting a shirt on. So that was like, even though he was pissed off that she was getting laid or whatever they were doing, it only lasted 45 seconds. So Tucker, what was that like?
You know, that was the longest shot of their whole thing. Was that right there?
Yeah,
was
that
the
was
opening, and it was also the last thing recorded. Was that?
And but now
on their last day,
I will say, and I've got a note somewhere in here. They do a lot of very long shots, long takes. Like
Yes.
there's that one where Laurie's walking down the sidewalk, and Michael, does he step into frame where it's just like the shoulder, but she's
Yes.
just walking down the sidewalk humming along, and it's
You
just
see him; he's kind of on the left side of the frame, and all you see is like his hip up to maybe his shoulder. I don't think you see his hair.
No.
And she's just walking, and she's kind of oblivious to what's going on behind her.
Which I think, and I agree with you about the suspense thing. Like nowadays, you watch that and it's not very scary because it's come so far. But number one, yeah, it's scary for women because there's someone watching, behind you. That's something that I think a lot of women can relate to. B, at that point in time, having a shot that long of just her walking away, it would make people uncomfortable because you're not used to staring at someone that much for that long. So, and I get it. It makes sense.
Well, and when he steps out, I mean, you've got several scenes like that. You've got the scene where he steps out from behind the shrubbery, that big row of hedges. You've got the scene where he's driving the Smiths Grove, steals that car, and he's driving it around. She spots that several times throughout the day. She knows she's being followed, and nobody believes her. None of her friends are willing to listen to her and say, "Hey, there's this creepy dude."
But they're just more self-involved.
Yeah, they're typical high school kids.
Yeah.
They are, but I mean, at what point do you tell your friend, "Hey, this is like the 5th time you said you're being followed. What the hell's going on?"
70s, man.
Well, I guess.
Did y'all notice like how shitty the parents were? Like when young Michael comes out with this clown suit on, the mask, and a bloody knife.
They're just
Michael.
What'd you do, young man?
Yeah, it's just like, oh, that's not good parenting.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'll agree with you on that. One thing, the sheriff, the father, when Laurie and her friend are driving, and I think it was Linda, if I'm not mistaken, were driving to drop Laurie off to babysit.
Yeah, they're smoking a joint.
Yeah, and they're smoking a joint, and they're like, "Oh shit, it's my dad! Put it out, put it out."
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions. A, why did she stop? Her dad is obviously investigating a scene.
Yeah.
Why stop? You just finished smoking a doobie. And number 2,
He would have smelled
he
it.
would have smelled that.
But here's the thing, though. He was investigating sort of like you do. Who's just standing outside, just like looking.
I need to wait for a real policeman to show up.
Deputy Doofy over here.
I wrote
Yeah,
this.
that didn't make any sense. You're right, though.
I looked this up. So in the car when they're going to get Michael, by the way, the doctor or the nurse says, "Are you going to drug him or something?" Or he says to give him
Thorazine. Or
Thorazine. So I looked that up. That's a real drug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an antipsychotic. It can treat mental illness, behavioral disorders, tetanus, blood disorders such as I don't know that word, and severe nausea and vomiting. It can also reduce anxiety before surgery.
Did you know he was drunk? Well, the doctor was. He was drunk. Well, the main actor, whatever. He
The
was
guy
drunk
that played-
during that shooting part of that.
The
Like,
guy
when
that
they were
played
recording-
Loomis.
Yeah, he was drunk during that recording part of it.
I think I read, wasn't he an alcoholic,
Yeah.
basically? He always had a bottle on him.
Yep. The director had to talk to him. Well, John Carpenter had to talk to him and pretty much tell him, "Get your shit straight."
Really?
Like, because they were all getting tired of having to keep doing it over again because he was so drunk.
So also, when Laurie was in class, I don't know if you caught this, but did you hear what the teacher was talking about in the background?
Oh, I mean, like
I
they were
think
talking about some sort of book and fate.
your fate never changes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that goes back to Terminator 2, no fate but what you make.
There you go. Exactly. See,
I'm
So
more
what
probably
you're- so what you're saying
probably the
is-
same universe.
Exactly. So you're saying Halloween and Terminator are in the same universe.
Exactly.
I can 100% believe it.
Totally.
Two shitty movies. I'm more of a Groundhog's Day kind of person. Like, you definitely create your own fate, and it is variable.
It's fair. The other thing you said this about the shots. He's walking around stalking this girl, right? He's in blue coveralls and a white mask.
Now, I get that it's Halloween, but somebody's going to call that
Somebody's
in.
going to say
Somebody's
something.
going to call that in.
An adult man walking around like that, just like being a fucking creep.
Well, are y'all familiar with Michael Myers of Decatur?
No.
Like, seriously, like in Decatur, Alabama, there was a guy who would just walk around just randomly in like the Michael Myers outfit, and his wife would like track him down and like see him in these random places and like yell at him like on like video.
What in the... Is this on YouTube?
Yes.
Oh, my
Please
God. I
go
know what I'm
watch
doing
it.
after this.
Please
Yeah.
go watch it.
It's kind of funny. I think it's pretty impressive that the doctor stopped to make that phone call exactly where Mikey got his blue coveralls too.
Well, he found the vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to find the nearest payphone and make the phone call there. And he's been treating Michael for 15 years. He knows
His mindset.
His mindset. He knows what he wants to do.
Trey, to your point, I think the reason that no one wants to date Laurie is because of that big old dick.
1,000%.
So did y'all catch the whole reason that Michael was going after Laurie in the first place?
No. Because he saw her drop the key off at the house?
Yeah.
Because he went.
He fixated on her.
Yes, she went to his house, and that is his.
Speaking of fate.
Yeah, that is his. That's
So
where
she was
ki-
trespassing.
That's where he killed his first victim. That's
Sacred to him.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she was the first person to come onto that property that he knows of since he's been in the sanitarium. So he fixated on her because she's just unlucky as fuck.
Yeah, but at the same time, he didn't fucking kill her. He killed all their fucking friends.
It's true.
Well, he was
One of them had it coming though.
Which one?
Whenever she yelled at him driving
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
on the street.
Speed kills.
Yeah, she had it coming.
Oh, fuck you, bitch. I'm going to come back and get you.
Yeah, I mean, he stopped and stared. He's like, I remember that face and that hair.
It's fair. What about what was I
What
saying?
about?
What about? Oh, that was kind of further in the movie. Never mind. I can't talk about that. Oh, I also had. There was one scene, and it just hit me. Jamie Lee Curtis in this movie looks like Charlie Bucket from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like an older version of him.
Well, she was 20 in this movie, playing a what would y'all say 16-year-old, 16,
16,
17-year-old.
17-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that, she looked age appropriate for that role. She didn't
No.
look. She didn't look
No, she looks old as
too
hell.
old. I know.
She looks
No.
old as hell.
No, her balls hadn't dropped at that point.
No, she still looks pretty damn. She sounded like old as shit. I know that.
She still sounds the same. She
Yeah.
sounds the same now as she
Yeah.
did then. Which
Damn,
then
that's
she
sad.
Yeah, she sounds like a 70-year-old woman then.
Yeah, it's like, nah, 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 nah. I'm bringing the sandwich. Nah, 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 nah.
She's a very deep voice. You know?
She does have a very
She does have a very deep voice.
Because she's got a dick, dude.
husky.
Golly.
I wonder if she
husky.
has big hands.
I don't know.
I mean, on that pumpkin that she has, pretty damn big hands on.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh,
Maybe she should have done the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Sorry.
I would have given Trey something else to bitch about.
Her and Dr. Frankenfurt are rubbing.
She could have been
dicks.
Dr. Frankenfurter.
Oh, I will say part of the influence. I mean, say what you want about this movie, if you like it or not. The
Well,
influence.
I don't. I'll tell you now. I
We'll
don't.
say what we want.
But the influence on the horror genre is very real, and I say that because there was one shot. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but he's standing by the tree watching, and we saw that exact same shot 2 weeks ago on Trick or Treat.
Yeah, but they were paying
Yeah, we
homage
did.
to all those other.
That's what I'm saying. But
But yeah,
it's
I mean,
still,
it does have
but
its
you can-
influence.
but
I
you
agree.
can-
Scream probably wouldn't have been Scream if it wasn't for this
It
movie.
was
Well,
just
a lot
like
of
this
movies
took a lot
wouldn't
of
have been.
influence
Yeah.
from like stuff that had come before it.
probably, yeah.
I mean, like that's what the
Like
Amazon
Psycho.
Prime like
Psycho.
facts were. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it does, but this movie, like I said, it's kind of the birth of the modern serial slasher flick. Because right after this, you had the original Friday 13th. I think that was 1981. Then you had Nightmare on Elm Street. I think that was 1984, and they all kind of heavily pulled from Halloween with some of the same shots. Well, you take.
Well, who are the directors on the other ones? I mean,
Wes Craven did.
because I feel like Wes Craven took a lot of his shit from John Carpenter.
Yeah, Wes Craven did
Wes
Freddy
Craven
Krueger.
was
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot remember who did
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th, but the very beginning of that movie, Friday the 13th, you've got the one of the camp counselors riding with the killer, and it's all shot from the killer's perspective, but you never see the killer until the end of the movie.
Well, when you said it's more Psycho than it is this,
Well, yeah, because he got it from Psycho.
yeah,
John Carpenter took it from that.
yeah. I mean, so it all
So
pays
technically-
homage on to Hitchcock,
Yeah.
who was the true father of
And as far as just slashers go, you don't know. I mean, maybe some of them took it from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Didn't they come out at the same time about?
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw, when was that?
It's in the 70s.
I know it was in the 70s. I'm trying to remember when it was.
I think
78?
it was. I thought it was 77.
77, 78, somewhere around there.
Friday
I
the
know it
13th
was-
came out in 1980, and it was directed by Sean Cunningham, and it was written by Victor Miller and Ron Kurz.
Okay.
Naturally, it's going to take from it because Halloween was already successful by that point. So they're going
It
to
was.
feed off of what was successful at that point.
But I'm
That's just
saying
what
that
they're going to do.
Halloween birthed three of the biggest horror franchises in history. 'Cause everybody knows who Michael Myers is, Freddy Krueger, and Jason Voorhees. Everybody knows who that is, and they all have iconic pieces of their persona. You've got the mask of Michael Myers, you've got the glove of Freddy, you've got the hockey mask of Jason. You see that, and you know instantly what character that is.
Well, yeah.
So I think Halloween did
Just like the chainsaw with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right?
I think
Or the
Halloween.
mask.
I think Halloween did a lot for the horror genre, in general.
I agree with you. I'm not saying it didn't. I mean, obviously, Friday the 13th and all the silent killer part and all that, that's kind of right there with it and all. There's
Exactly,
a lot
yeah.
with it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the whole, like, hidden until last minute stab, you know.
So I have a question for you guys. Let's just say for some reason that you're being stalked by a crazy serial killer.
I was, or I am still. And
What-
Dothan refused to arrest him.
What do you do? How do you
I'm not calling
Try
the
to-
police. I'm going to get a gun.
how do you try to stop it?
I was going to say, well, first call the police. If they don't send anyone, grab my AR. Stop it myself.
Okay.
Assuming he walks slowly and only has a knife. I mean,
A crazy serial killer. How would I mean, could the police really do anything? I mean, they'll go looking for him, right? That'd be about it.
Not
Like they
in Dothan,
did,
they won't.
like they did on this night.
just ride around.
I mean, it's the same. That's what she did was kind of nothing wrong in a certain sense.
What do you mean? Who did?
I mean, the police were still looking for him. They didn't.
Well,
find him.
I'm not
Damn the police.
referencing this movie
Looking in the wrong damn place.
specifically. I'm not referencing this movie specifically, but just horror movies in general, because you have all the dumbasses go into the basement or run up the stairs or whatever, instead of running out the front door and getting in your fucking car and going.
Yeah, it's a fair move too. I mean, save the family. But
Just
I mean,
get
I
the
guess
hell out of town.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah,
He's walking.
yeah,
Pat and Bob ain't doing 60.
yeah. I mean, that's a valid point. Just get the hell out of town.
hopefully he doesn't follow you. But I mean, he's already stolen a car and gotten into town, so hopefully
But at that point, you don't know that though.
it's fair.
Yeah.
You just know he's on foot.
Well, here's my thing. You two both have very large trucks. You have a piece of shit car. You know.
fine
So
with that.
all three of you are on the same level. Why wouldn't you just drive going 60 straight into the asshole?
It's fair.
I mean, yeah.
Like, you know,
I mean,
yeah.
you could.
Like your trucks would just do damage. Like your car, you can't get worse. So
I mean,
fair.
no,
It's fair.
That's a fair point, because, I mean, you don't know what this guy's capable of. I wouldn't stand and go toe-to-toe with him.
Speaking of
No,
driving,
hell no.
speaking of driving, in the earlier part of the movie here, you know, I was talking to you about this, about the there's a little plot hole there to it. Where the hell did he learn how to drive?
well, he talked about one of you
No,
assholes must have taught him.
hold up. There was
They pointed out that there's a plot hole in the movie themselves.
there was an
That was-
8-year-old, and it was somewhere up north.
Yeah, he wanted to do hood rat shit.
No.
That's the kid who
Yeah.
stole his grandma's car. He went to go do hood rat
but the
shit.
thing
exactly
is,
what
No,
he said.
this is a different one. This is a different one.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's more than one 8-year-old that stole a car.
This kid took the family car and took his little sister because nobody would take them to McDonald's, and he drove like 8 miles to McDonald's, obeyed all traffic laws, bought their food, and drove the fuck back
okay,
home.
but here's the difference though.
There you go.
They've
At
at least played like Grand Theft Auto or some other type of game
Yeah,
where they had
yeah.
to drive a car around
Not
or
in
something. Usually,
1977.
exactly.
It's
That's my
driving a
point.
car-
This is my point. They don't. How would he know to put it in gear? How would he know? Because you got to put it on the stick down and drive.
He's watched his parents do it.
He's gone to court
So,
before.
at
He's
8
seen
years
people
old-
drive.
At 8, but he hasn't. I mean, was he like just look out the window all day at people driving?
So
Okay, but prior to you getting behind
8 years old, he's mentally disturbed. The only thing on his mind is about killing.
But he's not 8 years old anymore. He's
But he
fucking
was.
like 21.
no,
yeah,
it's
but
been
how many
within
times?
15 years. So 8 and 15 is 23.
Whatever. So how many times has he gone to court in those 15 years, or been transferred to another hospital, or something that's required him to get in a vehicle and watch how someone operates?
He wouldn't have been transferred if the same doctor.
I don't think he was
watched over him.
transferred. Yeah, I don't think he was transferred.
But
I think
he's been transferred to court.
Yeah, 8 years old.
multiple times.
Maybe not.
No, he was getting
you
ready to
have-
go to court.
No, you have. Well, this was
He was
another
going- he was
court
going
time,
for parole.
but you have multiple parole hearings. You have preliminary hearings. You have
In
trials,
1977,
you
you
have
probably just had
appeals.
one.
Nah, I doubt it. You have appeals. You have review hearings. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that you go to court for. We have cases that are still going to court from 2012.
I don't know. He's a dangerous homicide killer. No, I don't think so. I don't think he ever got put in the car after he hit the age of
But
15.
you have
Maybe
to-
before the age of 15.
But you have to go to these hearings. You have to be there. That's it's part of your constitutional rights. You have a right to face your accuser.
Yeah, but they would have thrown him like in the paddy wagon or something, transport him probably.
Yeah, I
That's
agree with that.
nowadays. But
Like-
what about back then?
Well, yeah,
They
back
still have
then,
paddy wagons.
back in the 70s, they handcuff your ass and put you in the back seat. You notice that car had a cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had a transport cage, so you put his ass in the back seat, and there you go. He sees people drive, and
I
then,
don't know.
and
Well,
even then, you
But
get. in
there's
a-
still like a coordination factor of like hitting the right pedal and doing this and
I
that.
get-
Someone has to show you.
I think my overall thing is that with it is that they
I
pointed.
disagree. It's not fucking rocket science.
My thing is this: is that they pointed out in the movie itself that there was a plot hole in there, and that was really cool that they did do that.
Like I said, I disagree
Because even the doctor said, "How did he learn how to drive?" Obviously, one of your people must have taught him. And it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like they said, they said this is a plot hole,
Well, and
we're going to point out that it is a plot hole. And we know it's a plot hole, so therefore we can go
We've
on.
accounted for this plot hole.
Right, exactly. By saying
Hold on,
we know it's
Can you
plot
say
hole.
plot hole again?
I want to say this:
Plot hole.
if this mouth breather can drive, Michael can drive.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm the mouth breather. Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, the other thing is, I mean, the guy even said, he's been staring at a wall for 15 years, blah, blah. But you don't know if that's also true. They could have set him in a common room and he could have watched TV. And you see people on TV drive.
this was the '70s, and like I know like
Yeah, they
previous to
had
that, like
Magnum-
Guys could be watching
Like,
chips.
mental
Magnum
health faci-
PI, Hunter.
Yeah.
Well, mental health facilities probably did not treat them well. So I don't know if they put him in a common room. Chances are they probably left him in his like
Drugged him
room
up
with
the
I
whole
his
think
time.
about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I mean, they always they had,
I feel like they wouldn't-
They
facilities.
may be in they may be wards of the state, but they still are entitled to basic human rights.
You think
But
that,
they didn't always give it to him. That's why they don't have mental health facilities anymore.
so he's a killer, and they know that he's dangerous, and they said, we're going to drug him up to take him to where he's going to go to, right? So that means that they probably at one time or another, he's hurt somebody else in there, probably, right? So probably if
Possibly.
he got put in a common room with other people, what did he end up doing?
You mean trying to kill someone else?
Yeah.
Potentially.
So I have a feeling that they probably didn't put him in a common room. They probably just put him in a padded room by himself, and that's it all day long.
They gotta, I mean, he's already insane anyways. That's just going to drive you more insane. I mean, they've proved you can only be in solitary confinement for, it's like 22 days or something like that when you're in jail.
Now,
Now, yeah, but back then we don't know.
Well, I'm talking like even Alcatraz.
Yeah, their max was like 20 days,
Yeah.
and that was back in the 30s.
30s. Yeah.
And it's a little bit different now. I mean, they put them in like you got those people.
Well, when I say that, I mean there are people that are in solitary confinement, but they still get out for an hour a day. But like I'm talking like when you're put in the hole, that's where you don't get out, you get nothing for 24 hours a day. There's a limit to how much time they can do it. So he has to have some sort of outside influence somewhere. Whether they take him to a common room that has like maybe obviously
Maybe it's just
Shackled
maybe
in.
it's just him and a TV.
yeah, or maybe criminally insane asylum, and maybe they have chains at they chain him to instead of him sitting in a chair in a room, they send him in a chair and chain him in a common room where there's a TV for people to watch with no one. Everyone has their own bubble of 10 feet between or something. They're practicing social distancing before it was cool.
So you think they just rolled in a TV on a little cart and showed them?
Might have done that too.
I mean, TVs
Possible.
are expensive back then. So if they had one, they probably only had one.
That's why I'm saying common room.
Yeah.
That
Maybe.
but so he
Maybe.
doesn't attack someone. But I mean, he never showed any inclination of violence before. We just don't. The only reason we don't really want. We don't know his motivation for killing his sister.
They actually say in the movie that I don't think he spoke for the 15 years he was in the sanitarium.
And we don't know the real motivation he had for killing his sister.
Maybe it was like an Oedipus complex.
Could have been.
I'm guessing.
No, I mean it's fair. I mean, it seems like he got the urge to kill when
when she was getting dicked down.
When she was getting dicked down.
All right, y'all ready?
Let's keep going.
Keep moving on. All right, that night, Laurie babysits Tommy Doyle while Annie babysits Lindsay Wallace across the street. Michael follows them, spying on Annie and killing the Wallace's dog, which I fucking hated that part because that was a gorgeous German Shepherd. Tommy sees Michael from the windows and thinks he is the boogeyman, but Laurie does not believe him. Annie later takes Lindsay over to the Doyle house to spend the night so she can pick up her boyfriend, Paul. When she gets into the car, Michael appears from the back seat, strangling her and slitting her throat. Soon after, Linda and her boyfriend, Bob Sims, arrive at the Wallace house and find it empty. After having sex, Bob goes downstairs to get a beer where Michael pins him to the wall with a kitchen knife. Michael then poses as Bob in a ghost costume and confronts Linda, who teases him to no effect. Annoyed, she calls Laurie to find out what happened to Annie. Michael proceeds to strangle Linda with a phone cord while Laurie listens on the other end, thinking it's a joke.
Yeah.
So what I get from this is that Michael is basically just a big old voyeur. Am I wrong?
Yeah, that's fair.
What I mean, no, you were laughing. Like, go into that a little bit more. Let's unpack it.
Like, if he's a voyeur, I mean, like, he's been peeking in windows his whole fucking life.
This whole thing started with him watching his sister getting dicked down. I mean, so now he's seeing other girls getting, and he's like, he wants to see some boobies.
So this is,
and it's a shame that he killed his sister, who had the best boobs of anyone in the movie.
I don't know. That Linda chick had some pretty nice ones.
The blonde, the blonde-headed one?
The blonde one in the bed.
Well, here's the thing: as someone who's
She was
mentally
in
disturbed,
Carrie.
His sister was pretty hot.
As someone who's mentally disturbed, though, Tucker, was your sister's boobs that nice or less nice?
Jesus Christ! All right, so
Yes.
let's talk about this for a second.
So that Linda girl, she was in Carrie
So-
before this.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
So Tommy sees the masked man, the boogeyman, and Laurie doesn't believe him after being followed by a strange looking man all day. Did anybody else find that kind of weird?
Well, I mean, no, because he's talking about the boogeyman. If he said, "Hey, I saw this guy in a blue onesie and a white mask," she'd probably go, "Oh fuck,"
Driving a station wagon around.
Yeah, she'd probably. But when you say like the boogeyman,
But he's also, I mean, how old was that kid? 8, 9?
maybe 10.
Man, we skipped over part of there. So, random fact: this movie only had 3 pumpkins in it.
For Halloween, that's not many.
That's not a lot of pumpkins.
It's because it's springtime in California that this was recorded. This wasn't recorded in the fall. They actually had to scrounge up, find leaves, pick them up, put them on the ground, go back, pick up the leaves again.
I can actually.
And they had
They
painted leaves
they
too.
painted some
They had to
leaves,
paint
too.
leaves.
I can actually-
Everything is green around them.
I can actually get that now that you've mentioned it. I didn't catch that because
Yeah, it's
I
only
lived,
3 pumpkins.
I lived in Massachusetts for about a year, and in October in Massachusetts, it's fucking cold, and they're up there in the same kind of area.
Yeah.
So
No, Massachusetts and Illinois are very different.
I thought it was Ohio.
they were in Haddonfield, Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very different.
They are different, but they're also much further north than we are, and it gets cold a lot earlier than it does here.
Yeah, but I'm just saying Massachusetts is very different than Illinois.
So one of the
It
3
is, but it's both going to be cold in October.
You just said they were the same.
So one of the 3 pumpkins was the pumpkin that the boy was
think I
holding.
said they were
when
similar.
when he fell on it.
Yeah.
That was the only take they could get of that. So they hoped that he fell on it and broke it
Correctly,
right.
yeah.
Yes. If he didn't do that,
That tape on that pumpkin would show.
right. So that happened right. The other one was the pumpkin upstairs. Whenever next to the bed after
Yes.
The body, yeah.
That was the second one. The third pumpkin was the one that she's carrying
carries.
around carved.
Yeah.
So that was
Actually,
3.
there was a fourth one because there was a pumpkin spice latte floating around the set.
No, I believe there was other pumpkins around, quote unquote, but they weren't pumpkins. Though they were
Gourds.
that they painted.
Okay. So I have a question. Here's a guy that's been in a insane asylum his entire life. I highly doubt he's had access to a weight room. Can you guys just imagine how strong you would have to be to one-handed pick we'll just say a grown man.
Yeah.
up by his throat and
Yeah.
hold him at a 45-degree angle while you stab him in the stomach with a knife.
And with enough force to go through him into the door behind him, and he stay up on it.
Yeah.
Not very possible.
I mean,
Totally possible.
Well, because it happened in the movie.
He may not have a weight room, but he could at least be push-ups and
You
everything else,
can be
pull-ups.
you can be strong, yes, but
But this isn't
that's-
prison. This is
I mean, it could be like-
a psychiatric
this is a-
facility.
I mean, but it could be like that girl off of Terminator.
But he didn't look
2.
that big.
You know, she just be in her room and all the whole time just ooh, and then she was able to beat up all those guys on top of her. What was her name again? I
Sarah
forget.
Connor.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Sarah Connor was a badass, sir.
Same thing.
Be careful.
Sarah Connor was a badass, but
She didn't have
was
weights, did she?
she was a trained fighter though.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't have had any fight training, but I mean, you know, these kids, he took everyone by surprise, so he didn't have to fight anyone.
There was, 4 people, I think, that played Michael Myers in this movie.
Really?
In
Yeah.
this movie?
Yeah.
I thought it was just
Well, yeah, you
Boy.
got 3. You got Nick Castle, you got Tony Moran, and then you got Will Sandon, who played him at age 6.
But then you got the lady that plays the young Michael Myers with the stabbing and all that.
With the hand, yeah.
So technically 4
Okay.
that played Michael Myers.
Okay.
So this one guy who has him pinned against the wall that's like looking, admiring his work, I guess you could say.
Are we going to say this is not the lady?
No, it's not the lady.
Going out on a limb?
No.
So he was just told, go to this spot, stand there. Go to this spot, stand there. And then, like, whenever he's at the clothesline, this one guy did those parts right there where it's just standing still, Michael Myers.
Well, I mean, it's a paycheck, I guess.
I'm trying to remember what else he did. Oh, everybody had, like, several parts in this movie. So, like, you had...
Well, yeah, the budget was only $300,000. Well,
Yeah.
$350,000. we'll
Literally,
say.
it's like everybody knew somebody that could help to do this movie. So the
Yeah.
makeup and all was done by somebody who was friends that had a friend that was makeup designer.
Well, this
You know,
was
it
one.
a-
This was one of Carpenter's, not his earliest, but it's one of his earlier films.
I saw it on Precinct
13.
13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which wasn't picked up. It was picked up by the same guy who picked him up to do this right here.
Interesting. Okay, I don't think we ever did any of y'all ever babysit in high school?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think
In
anybody was
college,
that
but
stupid
yeah.
to let me do that.
You babysat?
In college, yeah. Like
Okay.
during spring break, like I watched some kids.
I did. I would go watch my cousin's kids while she went to the store to buy me liquor when I was in high school.
I don't know if that's babysitting or just.
I mean, she was gone for a while. She stayed
Beauregard
gone for an hour or
bullshit.
two.
So she was getting dick down too.
I think she just wanted some moment. I think she just wanted some time away. She was
It's
like,
fair.
Chris is watching them, so I'm
I
going to
understand.
head on
wanted some
out.
strange dick is what you wanted.
Trey, here's my question to you then, sir. Since you have babysat, if you ever spilled oil on yourself, would you just take all of your clothes off to wash them at the house you're at, and then put on one of the homeowner's shirts afterwards?
No, I wouldn't. I don't have. Here's the thing though: it's the '70s, like so a lot of like adult men were sleeping with the babysitters, so like it could have been totally
It's
acceptable.
fair. Yeah. She's probably worn that
If you go
shirt
to
before.
If you go to Pornhub, they're still doing it.
Stepdad. That one word makes a lot of difference.
It doesn't. No.
And then she goes out. She just goes out like with Laurie, just in the shirt.
Throws out like that big old overcoat. and
Yeah.
it's like, yep.
All right, let's roll. It's like, oh, so you're gonna go out in just panties, no bra.
Well, she's picking up the
She
guy
was
to get
gonna
dick
get-
anyway.
yeah, she was going to
I mean,
become
that was her whole
boyfriend,
plan.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but I would assume even in Illinois at October 31st, like it's going to be fucking cold.
Yeah, it is gonna be cold. 'Cause
I
just
mean-
like Massachusetts, I hear.
But it's springtime, so it's
Exactly the
not
same
as cold.
thing.
Exactly the same thing as Massachusetts.
Between like imaginary town and whatever bumblefuck place you went to.
The only thing, I mean, it's Massachusetts. It's Boston. That's the only place there is in Massachusetts.
No, you got Amherst, UMass.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do.
Meh.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Although, interesting little fact about UMass, their college stadium, and I remember driving around up there, and I first drove past it. And
All right, good enough. Fan mail.
So are you saying
Anyways,
you
you
spent
drove
time
around-
at Amherst?
So
Is
you
that what
drove
you're
around
saying?
the...
I was driving around Amherst.
Yeah.
And
So did you
I
live in Amherst?
No, I lived right outside of Amherst.
Okay, so
I lived-
bumblefuck.
Well,
Bumblefuck.
Amherst was 5 minutes.
You lived in the Beauregard of Massachusetts.
All right, Eric, finish your story.
God damn it, I can't argue with that. 'Cause it's not wrong.
What about the
um,
stadium?
So I drove by UMass Stadium, and I was talking to a person I met up there, and I said, "What high school team is this?"
Well, that makes sense. Nobody goes to their
what
fucking
high
games.
school? What high school stadium is this? And he looks at me and goes, "That's University of Massachusetts." And I'm sitting there going, "Holy shit! Opelika and Auburn stadiums are bigger."
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
They're like one of the worst football teams in
Division One.
college
Yeah,
football.
Because
I
they
mean,
didn't used to
yes, I agree.
For years, they've been one of the worst.
I get that, but when you have our local high school stadiums are bigger. It was,
That's fair,
it was
yeah,
insane.
Not your high school stadium though.
I live in Auburn. My taxes go to that school, so yeah.
I'm just saying, when
ours.
you were in high school, where you went to high school, your stadium was the backyard,
Carport,
and really it was probably a trampoline where you and your sister wrestled.
and then he got beat. That's why he's big into jiu-jitsu now.
That's fair. He's been training all this time.
I guess you probably should ask him about the oil thing.
The oil thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the babysitting. Did you strip down and put on your daddy shirt? Definitely want to call it daddy, by the way.
Or crazy Uncle Janitor, whichever one works better for you in this case.
No, the uncle janitor made him put on the shirt. That was different. That was different scenario that time. So when Bob goes to get the beers, do you notice that he says, "I'll be right back"?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'll be back.
No, I'm not like no like.
Okay, I thought that's what.
No,
you were
no,
trying
no,
to
no. I'm going to the Scream movie. Remember the movie Scream?
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard. I'll be right back. Ah! But I mean, that's this. You're right. You're right. This is the start of, the scary movie rules.
Well, and there was a part in the Scream movie where, oh god, the kid that talks about the rules of a horror movie.
Why are you jacking off your mic stand?
Because I got an itch on my hand.
They were close to the end of Scream. They're watching the original Halloween, and he's sitting there going, "Oh Jamie, oh Jamie,"
Oh yeah.
and you see Matthew Lillard and
Skeet Ulrich.
Skeet Ulrich run behind him in the ghost face mask, but they're watching Halloween.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I do have a note that says it's a shame they killed Annie because she does have great boobs. Just saying, just throwing it out there.
All right, keep going. Get to the good part of it.
So meanwhile, Loomis discovers the stolen
There
car
was no good part.
and begins searching the streets. Suspicious of the phone call, Laurie goes to the Wallace house across the street and finds her friends' bodies, as well as Judith's headstone, in the upstairs bedroom. She flees to the hallway in terror, where Michael suddenly appears in the dark and slashes her arm, causing her to fall over the stairway banister. Injured, she narrowly escapes and runs back to the Doyle house, but lost the keys to the front door when she fell on the staircase. Tommy lets her in when she orders him and Lindsay to hide, only to find the phone is dead. Michael sneaks through the window and attacks her again, but she incapacitates him by stabbing him in the neck with a knitting needle. Thinking he's dead, Laurie staggers upstairs to check on the kids, but is shocked to see Michael alive. She tells the kids to hide in the bathroom while Laurie hides in the bedroom closet, but Michael finds her and breaks in, so she stabs him in the eye with a coat hanger and in the chest with his own knife. She then tells Tommy and Lindsay to go down the street to a neighbor's house and call the police. After they leave, Michael awakens once again and slowly approaches an unsuspecting Laurie. Loomis sees the kids running from the house and goes to investigate. Finding Michael and Laurie fighting upstairs, Laurie rips Michael's mask off, making him hesitate to put it back on. Loomis shoots Michael 6 times, knocking him off the balcony. Laurie asks Loomis if Michael was the boogeyman, which Loomis confirms. Loomis walks to the balcony and looks down to see that Michael has vanished. Unsurprised, he stares off in the night as Laurie begins to sob. Michael's breathing is heard during a montage of locations where he had recently been, indicating that he could be anywhere.
Can we just go ahead and address right now if modern movies have told us that you don't kill the boogeyman's dog?
It's fair. I've never seen that John Wick though.
Well,
Heard it's good.
The boogeyman, they didn't kill the boogeyman's dog. The boogeyman killed the Wallace's dog.
Mm-hmm.
No. In real life, you don't kill the boogeyman's dog. He'll come back and get you and kill everybody.
Well, yeah, you don't kill John Wick's dog.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
So here, another
There's 3 movies and a hell of a lot of bodies that tell you why you don't kill John Wick's dog.
another trope that I think that I caught that started on this one is the start of like, oh, there's something wrong. I'm gonna go check it out. Like instead of like calling someone or whatever, like the worst white people move ever.
It's fair. I think it's just the
I would
worst move
agree.
ever.
I guess she
to be
wasn't.
honest.
I guess in her mind she saw like the lights come on. The
Yeah.
light, you know what I mean? So she's sitting there thinking they're in there. They're just not answering. Let me
Yeah.
go in there. But you know the other part we're talking about, and it was just like she goes to the neighbor's house, banging on the door, yelling for help. And this is in the 70s.
This is the 70s, late 70s.
Most people would be like, one, your neighbors.
Yep.
Back then.
Well, now she was babysitting, so she wasn't at her house.
Yeah, but I'm getting the impression Haddonfield is not a big town.
Not a
No.
big town. You're right.
So they probably know her and all. And then they're just like, fuck that. We're going to cut off and just.
Yeah.
Like somebody's banging on your door yelling for help, you know?
I mean, sort of like
Back then.
Kitty Genovese, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair.
You know,
But she had. Oh well, no. I guess they didn't answer though. They just turned off the lights.
So here's a question that I have. Y'all noticed that there was that Michael rips up his sister's tombstone, and they don't really bring that back up until close to the very end of the movie when they find it on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I tried to do some digging and find out how much one of those things would weigh.
Digging.
It's a big old slab of granite.
I mean, he lifted that up. He can lift that man up with these.
I can only imagine, and I couldn't find a solid number, on it, but I can only imagine one of those things weighs
Oh, it's got to be
400, 500, 600 pounds
Oh, I'd say
easily.
more than that. Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. Granite. I mean, have you ever had to move granite countertops?
No.
They are fucking heavy, bud.
No, I believe it.
approximately 230 pounds.
No way.
I looked that up. That cannot be right.
Yeah, because I mean, like,
I saw that.
I totally discredit people that fucking do that shit for a living and like put that on the internet.
Point is
Because I totally have a
they're
better
talking
idea.
They're talking about a grave marker, not a headstone.
All that was like a little fucking headstone. It wasn't like a big old fucking statue.
That
like,
thing
of
was
her,
3 feet
taking
tall.
dicks to the mouth like she was like that night.
That thing was 3 feet tall, and it was probably 6 inches thick.
All right, first of all, you over exaggerated 6 inches with your hand right there.
That's what she said. I mean, I wasn't sure if we were going to go for that joke or not, but
You're goddamn right. I'm not letting that pass.
okay. So the argument here is that he's very strong, but he had a lot of trouble with that kitchen door,
He also had a lot of problems with the closet door.
the
too.
closet door. I'm just saying, like his strength varies.
that's a weak ass closet door too. That's that old like.
Yeah, the
The
louvered,
flimsy, yeah.
louvered whatever things.
Speaking,
like,
that was another guy that was doing the punching through.
So, and she also stabs him with a coat hanger.
yeah,
I mean, if you poke somebody in the eye with it, it's gonna hurt.
Fuck
No,
yeah.
no doubt.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I heard him. He was like, "Hey, my fucking eye."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is funny because here's this is literally how I wrote these notes at the very end. I said all of this and a knitting needle to the neck stops in. Okay, so a hanger to the eye, and a stab wound, maybe. No blood on the knife, by the way. When she came out of the closet, she had the knife. There's no blood on it.
You also didn't see any blood on her arm when he slashed her.
Yeah.
Again, they didn't want to make it a big gory movie.
Yeah,
there.
and why did she drop the knife? I mean, not the point. Okay, and then I wrote nope. So then the doctor with a 6-shooter, and then nope again.
So when they
So did you notice there at that scene, he fires one shot to get Michael off of Laurie, and then he follows him into the bedroom and fires 6 more out of a revolver?
I didn't know. You said something about it the other night, but
Seven shots, 7 rounds out of a 6 shot.
So here's the funny thing, because you said something about the knife. When they showed this movie, they premiered it at a small college town. I forgot where it's at, but it was just a little small college town. And they said that one of the people in the audience, when she dropped that knife down on the ground, he stood up and he said, "You get killed, you deserve it." So he made that reference too, like, why the hell would you drop a knife,
funny. I mean, it's a valid question. And the other thing is, and this is just one of those things, like, so at the very end, it starts kind of going through the different scenes of like where the movie
Where he's been.
So when it shows the scene of the den where she stabbed him in the neck, his knife was still on the floor there too. So it was obviously an old shot.
So that's what they did. In order to close that out, they just took a bunch of different stills and all. Yeah, because originally they were going to go with another idea of how to finish the movie out, and then they decided that they want to go with the idea of you don't know where he's at and where he could be at. So they took stills from different spots and all that.
Of where he was.
And everything to make you start wondering, like, where's he at? Where could he be?
Where's Dan's dad?
Dad watch.
Dad watch. Sorry, that's time suck. Sorry.
So that was pretty cool. They did.
And I will also say, and actually kind of ties into our music, the end credits theme or whatever. It sounds a lot like I hear Stranger Things in the end credits theme. I don't have it to play, but I mean,
it has that kind of
because
sound
it's
to it.
copyrighted.
I've never seen Stranger Things. I need to
It's such
watch
a great
it.
show.
So good.
Okay,
Do you watch it?
I watched the first season.
I need to watch. It's
I think
Netflix,
you
right?
watched part of
Yeah.
the second season, but
Second season,
First and third are good.
yeah.
I ain't going back.
You should. You should do the third
He
season.
gets weird masturbating kids.
So don't.
You know when she falls down those stairs, though, man. Like,
It hurts her knee,
yeah,
kind of.
kind of, yeah. Because later on, she's just running just fine, and then next thing you know, she's like limping
Look,
again.
adrenaline's a hell of a thing.
Apparently
fair.
so.
Which is what
And
I'm
towards the end of
running
the
on
movie,
when I
she's
fight Paige
limping
Van
again.
Zandt.
And this is random, but I guess I noticed in one of the scenes. I mean, people were skinnier in the 70s, but her waist, man, like she was fucking
Yeah.
tiny. Considering how big her dick is.
I mean, she's
Respect.
20 years old. She's
That's
20
true.
20 years old in this, and I'm sure when we were in our late teens, early 20s, we were all a lot smaller too.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah. I was barely 100 pounds when I graduated from high school.
Yeah, I was like 115.
I was like 98, 99, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
170.
So I think it's safe to say we've all gained some weight as we've gotten older.
that's fair. That's fair. Okay. You got anything else to?
I don't. I mean, that's the movie. That's Halloween.
Cool.
Final ratings and reviews.
Yeah, Chris, you want to start?
You know, it is the foundation of a lot of movies now. So I give it its dues for that. Does it stand the test of time? No, not at all.
It's fair.
It's not like that great of a movie, really. All honesty, I mean, I appreciate what it did and what it's doing for other movies and all out there. But I mean, this is one I'm not going to watch again. It's 4 beers for me, and that's it.
Wow.
Wow, that's harsh, but okay.
I'm sorry, but it's just the truth
That's
to me.
generous.
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic. It's a classic, start of a brand new genre type of movie. But having to sit through and watch it, like I was bored. We are spoiled now as to how they build suspense. Now we've got 40 years on this movie,
No, I agree. Yeah.
and so having basically watched it not necessarily for the first time, but for the first time this week, like I did not feel the suspense build up because I get it when it came out. It would have been. It's like what's the other
People with Jaws back in the day.
or Jaws. I'm thinking where she's possessed.
Exorcist.
Exorcist.
Yeah.
It's constantly cited as one of the scariest movies of all time. So, I mean, but it's not compared to stuff that you see
Yeah.
made today. It's just not. And
Go ahead. I'll
I do appreciate everything you did. It's an incredible franchise and it's done incredible things. It started a lot of incredible things. I'll be right back. Blah blah. But I mean, I'm glad I've watched it as an adult. And I do encourage if you have never seen it, definitely watch it because it is the start of modern horror movies, but it's not going to be the best thing you've ever seen. I'm going to go with you, Chris. I'm going to give it 4. Sorry,
Yeah.
bud.
Yeah,
Trey?
It goes just like that. Hold on one second. It goes just like that with Jaws. Like I talked to somebody who's much older, like in their 70s, and they said like even today they're still like with the water and all, like
Yeah.
a little bit skeptical about water because of Jaws.
It's fair.
But you watch it now and it's just like, God, it's so terrible, you know?
The fake shark.
Yeah. But what is set up was something different. Go ahead. Sorry.
This is a 5-beer movie.
Seriously?
Yeah, like everything about it like is not interesting to me. Like there is no explanation for why he's doing it, so like that just is a big turnoff to me.
I agree.
And there's so much unresolved with it and implausible.
That's what the next 15 movies are for.
Wow. I hate it for him because I'm not gonna watch any of them. This is just really, really just okay. I mean, like the best thing about it was like that one little theme he did. You know? Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
even that doesn't really do it for me. So it means nothing.
Fair enough. Tucker?
Guys, I'm going to go the complete opposite of all y'all here. I disagree with what you're saying, Chris, about Jaws. I think Jaws still holds up until getting close to the end when you do see the mechanical shark because of all they did with the practical effects. I think this movie still holds up. Yes, it's not as gory, Stephen, and it doesn't have the shock value that you get in a lot of the modern horror. Mm-hmm. But as far as for building suspense and setting a scene, and yeah, you really don't understand Michael Myers' motivations.
But that also, in a way, can make him scarier.
Yeah, exactly. I think that this was a masterful movie. It was masterfully shot. It does do a really good job of building suspense, even today. And I've seen this movie probably at least a half a dozen times. I think this is a great example of what a horror movie should be. All that being said, it is a little bit dated. Clothes, way people talk, that sort of stuff. You know, it is a testament to its time.
Context is key.
Yeah, but I still say that it is a great movie that is masterfully shot. John Carpenter, I can't say enough about the man. He's a genius. This is a one beer movie.
For you?
For me, this is a one beer movie.
Good. Glad you liked it.
If we add up all the scores, Chris is 4, Steven's 4, Trey's 5, my 1, and add it up, divide by 4, we come out with a 3.5 beer movie, which means this movie is slightly worse. Well, a little worse than average.
Yeah, worse than average.
So, if this movie would have been named the original name that they talked about instead of Halloween, I don't think we would be having this discussion. We wouldn't be talking about this movie right now.
No, not at all.
This movie would have never would have continued on to be what it was.
No, I agree.
It would have fell to the wayside.
What was the original name again?
It's like Teenage Slumber Party something massacre or something like that. I don't remember. It was something silly.
Did you read the trivia about it?
I read a little bit of it. I missed that part.
Cool thing is, the movie that they were watching in there was The Thing,
Yes,
which
it was.
later on
John Carpenter redid.
Yep.
Yeah, originally the movie it was supposed to take place over multiple nights instead of just one night and then Halloween. But they decided it was basically a marketing move. Really,
Yeah, it was total marketing move.
they can go, hey, we could just if we call it Halloween and put it on Halloween, guess what they're going to play every Halloween?
Yep.
Boom.
And that's what I'm saying. I think this movie would have never made it as far. It would have fell onto the wayside as all other movies.
All right, look. So this is some of the stuff that John Carpenter's done. You've got Assault on Precinct 13, which was 1976, Halloween in
It's a great movie.
1978, The Fog in 1980, Escape from New York in 81, The Thing in 82, Christine in 83, Big Trouble in Little China in 86,
Classic.
Village of the Damned in 95, Escape from LA in 96, Vampires in 98. I mean, and that's not even all of them. That's just the big ones.
It's John Carpenter.
The man has had an impressive, amazing career.
Okay.
So
I'm not down that one bit. I'm just saying that if they wouldn't have called this Halloween, I don't think that this would have had as much.
It's not Army of Darkness.
I think that marketing.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I think the marketing stunt on that just helped it out so much.
I completely agree. It's got some things about it in its own right. Like he said, I think it did start the modern horror genre as we know it today, but it's in a very early stage. It's like the nugget of the start, and it's just it doesn't. I don't think it holds up, but
in this movie,
respect for what it did.
This movie kicked off Jamie Lee Curtis's career.
Yeah,
this was her first role.
Now,
So we should demand an apology.
Well, I was going to say now. Hey, you say that now. Have you seen Trading Places?
Yep.
I mean, she's the prostitute now, which is pretty hot. Great boobs.
To go with a dick.
I mean, but kind of balance each other out a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so we haven't decided what we're doing next week.
No.
So we'll discuss that, and
Yeah.
it'll be a big surprise for everybody.
Before we get into that, though, we have a new segment that we're going to do. Okay.
I'm excited.
Aren't you though?
Yeah, just a little bit hard.
Just a little chub. Stay in your seat. So we're gonna start doing a top 5. How we're gonna do this is it's basically our top 5 episodes. It can be anything that we've reviewed so far.
Oh, mine's in no particular order then.
Oh well, I need an order.
Well, I'm not going to give you one. You can live a disappointed life. It's a 5-way tie.
Well, everyone else is giving an order.
No. He gave them to you in an order. That's his 1 through 5.
That's the order I'm going to do them
That's
in.
his 1 through
Yeah,
5.
I mean, technically, I guess you could say that in a way because that was the first one that popped on your mind. The second one that popped on your mind.
It wasn't. It was the order in which I found them going through like the old episodes.
You start at the bottom, going up.
Yeah.
That was great.
5-way tie.
So, but yeah. So what we'll do is every week whatever movie we discuss, and then we can add and delete our top 5 as we go on. If you think something should knock something off, there's something you like more, that sort of thing. So currently, and since we're already 40-something episodes in, obviously we're not going to be building this. I email or I text everyone this week, and everyone sent me there. So current top 5. My top 5, starting with number 5, is the Mail Order Brides episode. I thought that was a lot of fun. Number 4, our escape room episode. I thought the escape rooms were a lot of. I just enjoyed that just personally. I mean, I don't know about how strong the actual episode was, but I really enjoyed that. Number 3, Sandlot. I mean, honestly, it's our best episode. You know, it's our best performing episode and all that stuff. Number 2, I like T2, and for the reason that you gave it, you've got T2 in second place.
I'll explain it.
I know, and I'm going to let you explain it if you want to. And number 1 for me, Breakfast Club. That is just such a good movie. I really like the episode. Like I said, I guess we're not really judging the episode, just the specific thing that we're reviewing that episode. Part of me kind of like, you know, I did like some runners up, I should say, maybe. For me, I like the Chip episode, even though it was fucking disgusting to do.
Yeah, you didn't tell me I had to come up with some fucking backups.
Yeah, you didn't tell nobody. No honorable
And
mentions.
No, there's
What
no
the
honorable
fuck?
mentions. It's top 5 or bust.
Fine, top 5.
Here, I'll go next.
All right, Tucker, your top 5 are those down there.
Yeah, so I did 1 through 5, the beer review, T2, Gross Point Blank, Mail Order Brides, and Escape Rooms. And the reason I did beer review is number 1. Aside from seeing Trey puke, that was such a fun episode.
I completely
We
agree.
sat around, we drank beer, we shot the shit. That was a good fun episode.
Need to do another one.
T2, need I say more? That's just a great fucking movie, and it was a fun review.
Fuck that.
That's a 0 beer movie. Maybe a 1 beer movie.
I think I changed mine to 1.
Maybe a 1 beer
Y'all are
movie.
fucked up.
Gross Point Blank. I mean, I'm in the same boat with that. I love that movie. That movie's just funny and hilarious.
You and Al.
Right? I was kind of surprised with myself for putting Mail Order Brides at number 4, but I did enjoy talking about it.
That was a fun, different episode.
That was kind of
Credit-
an eye-opening,
credit to Trey.
kind of an eye-opening experience, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then
Just
again,
wait for my next documentary.
and then with Escape Rooms. man,
Yeah,
that
I
was
can't
just-
wait. You got good choices, man.
That was the Escape Rooms was just a fun night.
I agree.
So those were my favorite, and then just the way we broke it down and talked about it.
Who wants to go next?
I
Chris,
guess
Trey?
C Mac Attack will go.
C Mac Attack. What's happening with the here,
New and the now.
The new and the now.
All right. So my top 5. Number 2, we're going to knock that out of the way because you're a dick and you already told them what it was.
Sorry.
T2 is my number 2, and the reason why that is because like half of us hated that movie and thought it was like a 5 beer, and then the other half are a bunch of fucking idiots.
It's okay. You can be wrong. It's okay.
But it made for an interesting
I
like, back and forth.
I completely agree.
good episode.
I think that's conflict is what makes things interesting.
My number 5 was Hubie Halloween.
I just want to point out that 95% of Google users disagree with you.
Yeah, they're fucking idiots too. My number 5 was Hubie Halloween. Just because I like that movie a lot.
That's fair.
And it's just, I don't know, it's one of my favorites. Number 4 was Rocky Horror Picture Show. Again, like going into it, like I thought about it and I told Trey that like I feel like I rated that lower than what I should have rated it. Like whatever
Worse.
I gave
Rated
it too many
worse.
beers than what
You
I
gave
should
it
have
too
given.
many beers.
Yeah, because like the more I thought about it, the more I realized like, you know, this for a musical, this was actually really good for a musical. You know, and I should have based it upon that than overall movie. My number 3 was Trick or Treat. It's kind of weird that I'm all picking like newer stuff.
That's okay.
Number 3 was Trick or Treat, just because it was kind of entertaining. Like it was a lot of going back and forth and all
Yeah.
that. And number 1 of mine was Sandlots, because it's just, you know, I see you put an S at the end of that too.
You're welcome.
Sandlots.
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 I literally copied and pasted what you sent me.
Did I put down Sandlots?
You put Sandlots. I didn't add the S.
That's fantastic. Sandlot is always going to be number 1 on my list.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you that right now because it was a really good episode that we had. Mm-hmm. It's probably our best, and it is our best episode, and it shows. Trey?
Yeah. So, in no particular order,
So number 5.
meatballs makes me nostalgic.
I thought
I
you
like
would
Bill
put
Murray.
meatballs as number 1 because that's how I have it here.
No, it's in no particular order, bitch. So then number 4 would be Sandlot.
Okay.
You know,
Lots.
Once again, you know,
Sandlots.
just the nostalgia, like talking about like growing up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Then Lone Survivor. It's a great movie. It was a very different kind of episode for us. And,
that was a really. I agree with you. That's,
and I appreciate it. I didn't think we had it in us. And then number 2, Boondock
I've never had it
Saints.
in us.
One of us has. And then number 2 would be Boondock Saints.
Awesome movie.
Yeah.
Fun episode.
It was a
St.
fun
Patrick's
episode.
Day?
Yeah, St. Patty's Day. And then lastly, Mail Order Brides is my favorite because I
It's your
enjoy
choice.
those. Yeah.
Definitely your choice. Great. Thanks for the top 5s.
I'll dig it. That.
I was just like, I need something to intro this. Trumpet music, like I was like old timey like trumpet guys. I think I want to add like a fart sound to it. That dun, 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 dun.
I feel like
Just don't violate any copyrights.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood when he goes to see the king.
Oh my god!
That's what I feel like.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get a copyright infringement on that. Not the intro music that I found that's free and not copyrighted, but just the fanfare sound. Lucky me.
I mean, I doubt it. That's been in so much stuff. It's kind of a generic thing.
I agree. Okay, so before we get out of here, let me tell you can find us. You can find us on the web at theguysreview.simplecast.com. You can email us anything, and I will read it poorly. At theguysreviewpod@gmail.com, Instagram at theguysreviewpod, Twitter at _guysreview. And remember, if you like the tweet pinned to the top of the page, I didn't even talk about the Twitter group. We'll add you to our Twitter DM group. Please download Twitter, Chris.
Hey, you know what we did mention of today? Our college pick points.
Oh,
I'm still in second.
I think we knew you were going to say that. But who got the least amount of points this week?
Tucker.
Tucker. And man,
I took a shot on
Trey.
a couple of teams trying to get an upset.
Trey, man, like he went in strong.
Trey kicked ass this week.
Yeah.
it was a good week. It was an easy week.
Like I said, I picked a
It was
couple of
an
teams
easy
to try to get an upset.
Yeah, that's the mistake. Don't chase it.
Didn't work.
Let it come to you. And always bet against Auburn.
You would.
Hey, they didn't lose this week.
Yeah.
It's hard to lose on your bye week.
Well, I'm sure we can manage
We
it.
had Gus Mills on for years.
But yeah, so if you want to join the Twitter DM group, we're always sending memes and stuff like that, and just
Yeah,
kind of
the only
chatting.
problem is Al's in there.
He doesn't
Fuck
talk
you, Al.
much.
Fuck you.
You didn't. He came in the Twitter DM and said, I took a screenshot. He never even responded to it.
I went in and I loved it.
Oh, did you?
I loved his original insult.
All right, let's head out.
We do have a YouTube page, but it's super long, so just find us on. You can search us on YouTube, and just please like, subscribe to us, and review us wherever you get your blah. What do we do? We do podcasts. That's
Do
what this
we?
is.
Is
This
that what we
a
sell? Is that
That's
our
what this is. Yes, we sell podcasts, and if you
Wait,
would
we
please,
sell podcasts?
we're going to this company. They'll give us money.
I like it.
Rate us and review us wherever you get your podcast, and I would very much appreciate it.
Man, we could be big in China.
Y'all got anything else you want to add?
Just like my penis.
All right. Well, on behalf of Chris, Trey, and Tucker, my name is Steven. This has been another episode of The Guys Review. Thanks so much.